If you're watching this video, it's probably because you, my friend, are a highly ambitious guy into personal development. But at the same time, you're probably also frustrated because it feels like you're just going around and around and around in circles, like you're on some endless kind of hamster wheel of life. And the gurus, whatever their advice is, it hasn't helped you to make that permanent change in your life. I know, because I used to be that freaking hamster in the hamster wheel. I used to be like you, because I just couldn't for the life of me make a real change. And the reason is because I didn't understand how this thing here works. So what I want to do in this video is give you that missing piece that makes all the other tips, tools, techniques you're gonna get online work. This is what you've been missing. So without further ado, let me give you the most cliche analogy since the sinking of the Titanic, which is the tip of the iceberg and the rest of it that's underneath the water. Because here's the thing, what most of the quote-unquote experts teach you doesn't work because it's at the surface level of your consciousness. Meaning, they teach you the tools, the techniques. Within dating, they will say, oh, just use these lines. Within confidence, they would say, oh, just dress nicely, just put a smile on your face and act as if. But those things don't work because most of our issues are underneath the water. They are in our subconscious mind. So in this example where you don't know what to say to a girl, the issue isn't the words. The issue isn't putting some sentences together. Because you've been doing that since you were like 1 year old. You know how to talk. You know a lot of freaking words. The issue is that inside of you, you feel like she's up here and you are down there. You feel like she's out of your league, and so you put a lot of pressure on yourself to sound like you are some profound thinker like Plato or some comedian like Jimmy Carr, and you just put so much pressure that you just stumble over your words and you can't say anything. Or you don't even approach because you don't feel like you're worthy of even having a conversation with her, of dating her, of talking with her. Within confidence, yes, you can get some external validation. You can get the thumbs up from people like, yay, you look nice. And it will like fulfill you for like this amount of time, like the 0.5 seconds. But if you don't address the internal insecurities, you will never actually make a lasting change by just changing your body language to be more open and to put a smile on your face. That doesn't work, right? So hopefully this is making sense, but let me drill this home to you with one simple analogy. Imagine that I am sick, I'm constantly coughing. I go to the doctor, I tell my story, and without examining me, he just says, Michael, take this cough medicine. However, I leave the office, but what he doesn't know is that in reality I have a lung infection. Pop quiz time. In that analogy, am I going to get A, miraculously better, develop immortality and get the body of a Greek god, which I desperately need because I look more like Buddha? Is it going to be option B, where I will get worse and worse over time because the disease wasn't treated? Or is it option C, where nothing changes and I would continue coughing like a retarded seal on crack? Which one is it? Things will get worse because I didn't address the underlying issue. So back to this iceberg analogy. Most people teach the surface level stuff, the quick tips, the quick hacks, because they get some likes on social media, because it feels good, it sounds nice, but it doesn't actually work unless you resolve the internal issues. The question then becomes, how do you actually do that? And before I go into that, if you're getting some value from this video, if you're getting a laugh or two, then hit this like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this message as well. Now for the more tactical part of this video, let's see if you can spot the elephant in the room. At this point you might be thinking, Michael, if the issues are underneath the water in my subconscious and I'm not aware of them, how am I ever going to resolve these issues? And the answer is to become like a rampaging herd of 4-year-olds. I know, it sounds weird, but hear me out on this. What do, toddlers constantly say and ask? Why? Why? They are endlessly curious. And if you want to resolve those deeper issues within you, you need to do the same thing. So what I teach inside of my course, The Confidence Code, is the T.E.E.L framework. This is a framework for overcoming your deepest, darkest insecurities. But for now, I'm going to give you the simple version that you can implement today to get better at this. So the first thing you want to do is challenge yourself. Go and push your limits. Go and do something that pushes you outside of your comfort zone. Maybe that's talking to a girl. Maybe that's just having some conversations with people. Maybe that is starting on that project you've been procrastinating on. But go and take action. Because once you do, what's going to happen? Like, you're going to get that kind of panic. You're going to get some anxiety. You're going to get some fear. That is a good thing, not a bad thing. But the thing is, most people, they turn away from that. They see, oh my God, I don't want to do this. And they just run away. You, on the other hand, want to dive deeper into that. You want to ask that question, like I gave you before. Why? Instead of saying, how do I not feel this anxiety right now? Ask yourself, why do I feel anxious in this moment? Instead of saying, how do I get rid of this fear? How do I get rid of this panic? Ask yourself, why am I feeling this? And then shut the fuck up. What you want to do is allow your own mind to surface the answers. Because you already know, but they are underneath the water. And with these kinds of questions, you are bringing that up. So when you do this, what's going to happen likely is that you're going to get two sorts of answers. On one hand, you will hear this, what do you mean? Of course I'm not afraid. Of course I'm not an idiot. Of course I'm not a loser. Who do you think you are for asking? That part of you is your ego speaking. But then there's also going to be that much smaller, much softer voice within you that says, well, you are a bit of an idiot because of this, this, and this. And that deeper voice are some of the insecurities that are within you. And now, once you can start bringing those up and your mind gives you the answers, now you can work on building some real confidence within yourself. Now you can work on addressing those. So maybe, if it's like, I am a snowflake, I go with everyone's opinion. Maybe spend some time journaling and deciding what you stand for. If it is that you are unhappy with your physique, maybe you can go to the gym more often. Maybe you can work out, lose some weight, eat better. If it is that you feel like a loser, go and write down 3 things you can do. Small things, every day. And keep those promises to yourself. Because now you can say, I am a man of my word. And when you do those small things, little by little by little by little, you start changing how you feel about yourself. You start addressing the internal issues. And now, with that information, you can actually make progress. Because unless you solve what's inside, you're never going to get the validation, the success, the status, the fame, the money, the girlfriend, the whatever you want externally. So it's an inside-out approach, not an outside, let me get all of these things and then I'll feel good about myself. Now, there is actually one other secret question that I want to give you in this video. But before I do that, let me ask you a question instead. How would you rate your level of confidence on a scale of 1 to 10? And if the answer is anything less than a 9 or a 10, I've got something great for you. I've developed a free masterclass, about 1.5 hours, where I teach you everything that I learned about building confidence over the last 15 years. So you can take 15 years of my experience, compress it down into 2 hours, and learn everything you need to know to become your best, most confident self. Best part, it is absolutely free. Where you click the link below this video, enter your first name and your email address, and get into that training. Now, with that said, there's one final question that I want to give you in order to surface these deeper insecurities within yourself. And that question is, when did I first feel like this? So when you get this anxiety of, oh, I don't know how to approach a goal, or I'm scared to do this, or whatever it is, ask yourself, when did I first feel like this? And again, shut the fuck up. calm down, stay quiet, let your mind, your subconscious, bring that information to you. So to give you one example of this, for about 2 decades of my life, I completely, and I mean completely, struggled with expressing any kind of interest in any goal. And it was through introspection, through asking shadow questions, which is another topic we're gonna dive into in another video, so make sure to subscribe. But through those kinds of things like introspection, meditation, shadow questions, I discovered that the reason why I felt like this happened when I was like 5 years old. At that time, I had a crush on this girl in my class. But what happened? People found out, the other children in my class. And what do you do when you're like 5 years old and you discover some guy has a crush on a girl? Michael likes this girl. Right? That kind of teasing. And right now, as adults, we know that it's innocent. We know that's just good-natured fun. We know that it's just a stupid kid's thing to do. However, at the time, as a child, your world is much smaller. And if you don't feel like you fit in with your classmates, with the people around you, your survival instincts will kick in. So at that time, I developed this feeling, this belief, this story I told myself that if I express interest in a girl, the consequence down the line is that I won't be part of the group. I will be left out. I will be all alone. And I won't survive like that. So what did I do? I just took that part of me that expresses interest in a girl, stuck it deep within me, and just turned the key. I sealed that part away and then threw the key out. And I had to heal from that. But it wasn't until I started asking, why do I feel this kind of anxiety? Why can't I not approach this girl? Until I started asking those kinds of questions, I didn't progress anything at all. Even though I was watching video after video after video after video after video, I couldn't take action upon that because I didn't address the internal issue. So if you're watching this until this point, first I would like to thank you, but I would also like to challenge you. Don't let this be video number 874 that you watch but don't take action upon. Go and do something that is slightly outside of your comfort zone as soon as you can. And then ask one of those 2 questions, or both. Why do I feel like this? And when did I first feel like this? Bring those answers to the surface, and now you know your bottleneck, the thing that's stopping you from making real personal growth in your life. And with that said, give this video a quick thumbs up, share this with your friends, because personal development is much better when you're going at it with other people. And I'll see you in the next video, if you make sure to subscribe to my channel. Bye for now.